Hello and welcome to KC Boomer Tech. We talk about everything tech related to boomers. Now, today I'm going to be talking to you about some medical breakthroughs, some interesting stuff, and some scary stuff. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, you will be assimilated. So it's been an exciting year of breakthroughs. Things in the medical field are growing at such a fast and exciting rate. There's been a great amount of exciting but scary breakthroughs that you may not know about. The first thing is, researchers at Columbia University got closer to curing patients with respiratory disease by taking stem cells and growing lungs inside of a mouse. Now, with that function being able to do, they will be able to one day be able to grow a full-size lung for you so that you will have your lungs from your stem cells and there'll be no rejection. That's an exciting breakthrough. The next breakthrough that you may not know about, is that in September, Bio4D became the first company to print a 3D mini heart with the exact structure of the heart, and it's fully functional. And what they're hoped for is that within the next year they'll be able to print a fully functional heart that surgeons will be able to implant for you. Now that's an exciting breakthrough, but scary. You remember the program, the Repro Man, where people were given new hearts, lungs, but they had to go and if they didn't make payments, they had to give them back. But that's another discussion. Now that brings us to number 3. We all have had to run to the eye doctor and get our eyes checked. And with all the cell phone apps that are coming out, I have a plug-in device that can check my heart rate. I have another one that I can check my sugar levels with my phone. Well, now IQ has come up with an eyeglass test that attaches to your cell phone. And with that, you'll be able to plug it into your phone, look into it, and by dialing in a small dial on the top, bring 2 lines together, and it'll give you the measurement for your eyes. And then you do the opposite eye, and you'll be able to order your eyeglasses without leaving your house. A nice convenience. With the day of apps and connections to the cell phone is becoming more than the cell phone, it's becoming everything. Now, the next exciting thing is, what has been happening recently is they've created spinal implants. And now, with these spinal implants, people who have become paralyzed from the waist down are now being able to walk. Not fully and not exceptionally yet, but with that leads to a great amount of fun because these people for the first time can get up and walk with a walker or assistance where before they were stuck in a wheelchair. So that's an exciting and great news for most people, which will bring us to, with the excitement of all the 3D printing and bioprinting. They have already printed many types of body organs, bones, ears, noses, using stem cells and growing the cells, and then using a bioprinter to replace a cut-off ear, a nose, quite a few items. But for Melissa, I'm sorry I'm pronouncing her name wrong, is one of 10 people who are alive walking around today who've had a replacement bladder. She was born with a condition called spina bifida, which from birth left a gap in her spine. And she's had dozens of surgeries. And this leaves her with quite a amount of suffering. She's had multiple surgeries. But now she's one of the 10 recipients they've regrown using her cells a bladder. That's exciting news. Who knows what you'll be able to see next. Next thing you know, you'll cut off your hand and they'll print you one for that. Which leads us to my next subject, and that is, now we've all experienced pain at one time of our lives or another. And as you get older, they have various patches that you can put on that release chemicals into your blood. They're able to release or null the pain. Well, apparently there is a company called Piccolo who has invented a patch which was invented for something that was meant to be used for something else in the military, which now using microcapacitors, and using this device is able to remove the pain or numb the pain in an area. Okay, it works with 3 layers: a carrier layer, a nanoparticle layer, and a substrate, and that helps remove the pain. And it works on the same theory as a TENS pad, except it just attaches to your body. So that's an exciting thing. So instead of having to carry on your Bengay or whatever product patch you're putting on you, you'll be able to use this as an exciting breakthrough and something to look into. Now, if you've had cancer like myself, and you've been through the radiation and all of the other types of treatments, it's a painful process. Now, this young lady is being touted as this woman doctor who has created a cure for cancer using mice by injecting some nanoparticles which attacked the cancer and destroyed it in the mice. She got into cancer research when an aunt of hers became very ill. And she's very close to doing human trials where they'll be able to inject this nanoparticle into you and your cancer will be cured. That is an exciting breakthrough, and I wish her the best. And I hope she comes out with that cure very quickly, because there are too many people suffering right now, and having to go through radiation or going through chemotherapy is not the greatest thing. So that leads us to my next discovery. Now for my scary 2 events that I found about medical research. And that is what you may be unaware of or aware of. For some time now, we've been placing microchips in people's bodies. We've used it inside of dogs to identify them. So if your dog gets misplaced, they can read a chip in the dog's ear. You can locate, and you can find out whose dog it is. Okay, it also contains medical information on there. Also, this has been going on for many years. It happened several years ago where a company that was making breast implants was placing chips inside of their breast implants under the assumption that, hey, if something happens and that chip that breast implant has to be recalled, we'll be able to identify where the patient is anywhere in the world. Well, that became to light at that time because a woman had gone to work for a security company for the military. And of course, she went through her security check and she got checked. But when she went for her first day on the job, she set off all the alarms indicating that she had a transmitting device on her body. Well, needless to say, that resulted in a strip search in which they couldn't find it, and then they later discovered it was in her body. And of course, she later on sued the company because they had placed a marking chip inside of her body. Well, as you may or may not know, Bill Gates has spent over $2.5 billion working on what's called the digital chip. And there's a organization called ID 2020, which wishes to give every person on the earth a digital image. And what they're doing is they're working with pharmaceutical companies in third world countries so that in order for you to get a vaccine, not only will you get the vaccine, but this microchip will be inserted into you so that every single person who gets the vaccine will have this chip. And Bangladesh is already inserting it. They're also talking about, with the homeless, putting it into the homeless so they can keep a record of who is getting vaccinated and who is not because they have no records. Well, that has led to a tremendous scare in the Christian community because the mark of the beast, so to speak, Okay, because according to the Bible, that you will not be able to buy or sell anything unless you get a mark on the forehead or in your wrist. Well, the people who have developed this chip had to power it somehow, and they powered it with lithium, and they developed a self-recharging circuit by using heat differences in the body. And they discovered that the place to put it was in your wrist or in your forehead, which is exactly what it says in the Bible. Now, the more scarier part it is, a lot of Christians talk about the number of the beast is 666, but the actual Hebrew word, okay, translates to be 516, or it talks about that in order to receive this mark, you must be stigmatized, or a needle must be inserted into you, and the mark must be inserted. And when God comes back, okay, the mark of the beast will explode. Because what we've discovered is when these lithium batteries fail, they explode, leaving a giant mark. And what is even scarier, even more, okay, at their conference, the thing that's on the wall, okay, and I'll leave that to your imagination. What is that thing hanging on the wall? A lot of people are saying that that's the mark of the beast, that's Satan. I'm not going to make a guess on this, but it is scary. But what I'm more scared about is that the idea of that you're going to be marking every person with a chip without them knowing about it. So that is my 9th item, most scary. And I'm going to talk about one other thing that I kind of led into from the very beginning. So that leads us to my last and most weirdest scientific breakthrough that's kind of very scary. How many of you have seen The Matrix? Or I think it was Saturn V with Farrah Fawcett, where they had a connection in the back of your brain where you'd be connected directly to the computer. Or The Matrix, where they had the connection. Well, you know what? It's almost here. Elon Musk, you know the guy who's creating those reusable rockets that land themselves back on Earth? Well, he's been working on a project, okay, to connect the people directly to the computer. And he calls it Neuralink, AI for your brain. And he has already done this on animals. And he's ready to begin human testing. And I was looking for a picture. It's a giant machine, and it puts giant microleads into your brain, this whole neural net to connect your brain directly to the computer. And that leads you to become the first cyborg. Or, as I was saying here, you know, we have a picture of the Borg. Or imagine you're being connected with a giant connection cable in the back of your brain. Or maybe technology gets small enough that you could have a connection back here. And now, not only are you connected directly to the computer, but the computer is directly connected to you. Which means now you could have all the humans connected into one giant mainframe, using the power of your brain that's not being used now to solve problems or for them to control you. It's kind of scary, and it's kind of weird. I don't really like where they're going with this, and that's why I called it one of the scariest things. So I hope you enjoyed this quick review of some of the products that are coming out, some of the things that have happened, some of the technology that's being used, like the microchips being inserted into people or wires into the people's brains. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And put down in the comment section anything you'd like me to cover or anything you know about this subject that I haven't covered. Until next time, thanks so much and have a great day.